Hey everyone, Wolf Lord Rho here. Before I begin today, a huge thank you for the virtual gift voucher. You didn't leave your name, but whoever you are, a big thank you for the support. It is truly appreciated, thank you. But on to today. So Space Wolves Week is well underway. And well, there is absolutely no way I could let this week pass by without talking about perhaps the greatest Space Wolf legend out there, Bjorn the Fell-Handed. Spoiler warning to begin, the events we are discussing today are from the Warhammer 40k novel The Emperor's Gift by ADB. As always, I really recommend you read the story for yourself first, as that's the best way to enjoy the lore for yourself. Not only that, we help to support the great Games Workshop and Black Library, because without them we don't have this amazing lore to talk about. I will put a link in the description as always. And in case you missed my review on this novel, it really is an absolutely awesome read, my friends. Honestly, I cannot recommend it enough. But with that said, let's just jump straight in. Okay, so the events of the Emperor's Gift follow a particular Grey Knight named Hyperion, and during the course of the novel, Hyperion's squad Castian accompany an Inquisitor by the name of Annika Jarlsdottir. Their mission is to investigate a lost Space Wolves vessel, and Annika is actually a native of Fenris. So her interest in this mission is particularly high. Despite having left to join the Inquisition, it's clear her fondness for her homeworld remains, and she clearly holds the Space Wolves in very high regard. The investigation of the vessel unveils the ship has fallen to demonic taint, and though they manage to find one lone survivor, the vessel is lost during the confrontation. The tidings this Space Wolf imparts, however, is dark indeed. The world of Armageddon has been invaded by the ruinous powers. Demons are walking abroad on the surface, and the demon Primarch Angron has returned. So dire is this threat, the great wolf Logan Grimnar dispatched valuable ships from his fleet direct to Titan, breaking the ancient decree that only Astartes chapter masters may know of the Grey Knights' existence. However, once informed, the Grey Knights for their part send virtually every single marine they have upon Titan, and the call for reinforcements goes out across the Imperium. Now, thanks to their enhanced warp travel, the Grey Knights arrive at Armageddon within a matter of weeks, and they are greeted by none other than Grimnar himself, his armour still covered in blood. Coming aboard the Grey Knights' flagship, he makes it clear to the Grey Knights they are to remain in orbit until he gives the signal. Then they will be the spear tip to deliver the killing blow. And importantly here, he makes it clear several hives are many miles away from the front lines. Many people of this world still know nothing of the enemy, essentially telling the Inquisition these innocent people will not be slaughtered to keep their dark secrets. And I've got to say here, this is the best depiction of Logan Grimnar I have ever read. He comes across like an absolute badass. If you want to see a legend of the Imperium at his absolute finest, this is the novel for you. And don't get me started on the Grey Knights taking on Angron. My lord, that is epic. 109 Grey Knights teleport into the heart of the enemy, facing down the demon Primarch. and only 13 of them survive. However, it is in the aftermath of this battle that our tale truly begins. For in the days following the battle, more Grey Knight and Inquisition forces arrive to Armageddon, and they betray the oaths that had been sworn to Grimnar. As far as the Inquisition was concerned, knowledge of the demons could not be allowed to exist. And so they began rounding up all the people of Armageddon, local militarum who fought to defend it, civilians of the hives who had seen nothing of the enemy. The Inquisition would kill them all to safeguard a wider Imperium. And so what follows is essentially a Cold War between the Inquisition and the Space Wolves. The Space Wolves attempting to save as many inhabitants of the world as they can, dispersing them throughout the Imperium, and the Grey Knights and Inquisition hunting them down. And boy, how does this represent the beauty of 40k. The Grey Knights, paragons of purity and virtue, rounding up loyal citizens for a greater good. It's a fascinating story that ADB crafts here, it really is. And though many Grey Knights don't agree with it, they are all following the Inquisition's orders. The honour of the Space Wolves absolutely shines, and they come across like true defenders of humanity. Grimnar stands firm against the Inquisition, but he is smart enough to not fire first. Somewhere within the Eye of Terror, Leman Russ is smiling. Ultimately, however, the Inquisition betrays the Wolves, calling Grimnar to a meeting under armistice, and then firing upon his vessel. This, of course, leads to all-out war, as Grimnar unleashes back against the Inquisition. And so it is. The Grey Knights and Inquisition arrive at a barely defended Fenris, with an entire Adeptus Astartes chapter in tow. The Inquisition is led by Lord Inquisitor Kisnaros, and it is he, along with Hyperion the Grey Knight and Inquisitor Annika, who descend to the Fang to talk terms of a hopeful surrender. The Space Wolves, for their part, ready an ambassador in Logan Grimnar's absence. On a landing platform above the clouds, the 3 Inquisition members await the Space Wolves' ambassador. As the heavy doors to the Fang open, the form emerges into the moonlight. Annika, the Inquisitor native of Fenris, immediately drops to her knees, bursting into tears. "He's real," she said in a whisper over the Vox. "Don't you understand? Don't you see? He's real." The dreadnought stomped closer, drawing to a halt some 10 meters away. Moonlight became bladed lines on the edge of its dense armor. Tribal paintwork marked its old hull. One of the war machine's arms was a heavy, brutal rotary cannon, lowered and aimed away. The other was closer to humanoid, ending in a curved, vicious array of metal talons. I looked at the sarcophagus fronting the armoured walker, showing ivory and bronze carvings of wolves, Fenrisian runes, and talismanic scripture. Rising from the thing's back, flapping in the wind, was a faded war banner depicting a lone wolf in grey armour, his left hand rendered as curving claws of white fire. He stood proud, facing the setting sun in the west, with one boot on a pile of ancient helmets. I recognized the colours of the bearers of the word, the warriors of iron, the lords of night. those most ancient of foes, forming the legions of the Eye. Annika wouldn't stop weeping. It wasn't a display of undignified wailing, but the soft, muffled weeping was becoming unnerving. They were a pilgrim's tears, shed in a temple at the end of a long journey. "You're real," she whispered to the towering war machine. "Of course I'm real." The dreadnought's voice was a bionic thunder. "Get up off your knees, foolish girl." Oh man, I mentioned this in my review of the novel, but the build up to this moment throughout the entire second half of the story, with Grimnar's strong portrayal, the honour of the wolves, in just doing the right thing. It's so masterfully done by ADB. You know the ambassador's going to be Bjorn. I mean, who else could it be? You know it. And yet you still can't help feel that moment of reverence. Honestly, that reaction from Annika just pushed me over the top when I read it. I found myself welling up. I had to close the book for a moment to tell myself to sort it out. It's just a dreadnought walking through a door, but oh man, the impact of it. The representation of such a legend. Seeing Annika, the native of Fenris, despite her Inquisitor training, still moved to absolute tears at the sight of him. Being able to see the near mythical status Bjorn must have. Man, it's just everything I love about the 40k universe. For all the grim dark, it's these moments of emotion that just absolutely blow you away. And then of course we got Bjorn's reaction. Just so deadpan. He is so over it after 10,000 years. Of course I'm real, get up off the floor. Just so good, it just makes him all the more the legend that he is. Their interaction continues though, with Inquisitor Kisnaros beginning to introduce himself, completely oblivious to just who Bjorn is. As Hyperion stares at the nameplate on Bjorn's sarcophagus, almost disbelieving it could be him, before realization dawning, and the Grey Knight too sinks to his knee, much to Bjorn's irritation. Kisnaros, now completely confused, attempts to continue his introduction, ignoring Bjorn's laugh when he mentions the God Emperor. And once complete, he asks Bjorn for his name, and here Bjorn has one of the best quips ever, asking Kisnaros if he's blind. His name's written on his coffin. And so here, to the oblivious Inquisitor, Hyperion enlightens him to just who Bjorn is. His name is Bjorn, called the Fell-Handed, first great wolf of the chapter, and second High King of Fenris, after Jarl Russ, the Primarch himself. They woke him to deal with us. Kisnaros's eyes never left the armoured shell, and the black iron coffin bound on its front. You walked in the age of the Emperor. Bjorn made the gear-grinding chuckle again. Walked, ran, pissed and killed. I did it all. I met the Allfather, you know. Fought at his side more than once. I do believe he liked me. Man, does Bjorn deserve a new novel with him as the main character or what? Such a legend. But such a character too. He's got the warm personality of the wolves, combined with the fact that he just knows there's no one around that can come close to his experience. This man walked, as he said, in the age of the Emperor. He has walked at the Emperor's side. He has conversed with Primarchs, and he was the first to lead his chapter after Russ departed. He's going to say whatever the hell he wants, and he's got no cares left to give. And well, he has earned every single right. Slowly, Kisnaros too sinks to his knees, and Bjorn somehow, for a dreadnought, manages to roll his eyes. Man, again, it's just great stuff. Again, these are the moments that just steal the show for me. For all the grand battles, for all the epic duels, it's getting these true moments with such iconic characters that really just make it all worthwhile. It's what makes 40k so hard to match. But as always guys, what do you think? Why do you think Bjorn is such a legend? And do you think the reverence he is shown is truly deserved? Does he deserve to be such a mythical creature to those across all the Imperium? And would you like to see a novel with Bjorn as the main character? As always guys, leave your thoughts in the comments below, I love to read them. Huge thank you to all my subscribers, your support truly means a lot to me, it really does. And if you're new, please consider subscribing to help the channel grow. But with that said, I am off, and I'll see you all again tomorrow as we conclude Space Wolves Week.